All nuts are not good for you as you grow older. Some nuts are doing more harm than good. So for a healthier and happier life, you must know which nuts are good for you and which nuts you must avoid. Whether you're like my dear friend Eleanor, who at 78 always has a little bowl of something crunchy on her coffee table, or perhaps you're more like Arthur 69, who enjoys adding a sprinkle to his morning oatmeal, you might be surprised to learn that not all nuts are created equal, especially as we navigate these wonderful golden years. As an older person, the little choices we make about what we eat can truly have a big impact. We're talking about keeping our energy levels steady, supporting a healthy heart, and even keeping our minds sharp as a tack. That's why today, we're going to uncover 4 fantastic nuts that can be real allies for our vitality, helping our hearts, boosting our memory, and strengthening our immune systems. On the flip side, we'll also chat about 4 others that might come with some hidden challenges we need to be aware of, like sneaky calories, potential allergy issues, or other concerns. By the time we're done today, you'll have a much clearer picture of which nuts can be your go-to companions for a long and healthy life, and which ones might be best enjoyed in smaller amounts or perhaps even passed over. Let's start with the 4 must-eat nuts for a healthier and more vibrant life. Number 1. Almonds. These little powerhouses have been enjoyed for generations, and for good reason. Think back to when you might have first encountered them. Maybe it was in a simple handful, like my Uncle George, who's now 85, remembers taking on his hikes years ago. Or perhaps you've seen them in all sorts of forms today. Slivered on salads, ground into almond butter, or even as almond milk. But what makes this seemingly simple nut such a treasure, especially for us? Well, one of the biggest benefits is their incredible support for our hearts. They're packed with those wonderful monounsaturated fats, the good fats, that help keep our cholesterol levels in check. My friend Carol, 72, was so pleased when her doctor noted an improvement in her cholesterol after she started adding a small handful of almonds to her daily routine. It's a simple change that can make a real difference. But the goodness doesn't stop there. Almonds are also a fantastic source of magnesium. Now, magnesium is like the unsung hero for so many things in our bodies. It helps keep our blood pressure steady, supports our nerves, and keeps our muscles, including our precious heart, working smoothly. Many of us, as we get a bit older, might unknowingly have slightly lower magnesium levels, which can sometimes lead to things like muscle cramps or even those little heart flutters. A small handful of almonds can be a lovely way to naturally boost our intake. And here's a little bonus. Remember wanting to keep your skin feeling healthy and looking its best? Almonds are rich in vitamin E, a powerful antioxidant that helps fight those free radicals that can contribute to the signs of aging. My sister-in-law, Patricia, who just turned 70, swears by her daily almonds for keeping her skin feeling soft. Now, a gentle reminder. Even good things need to be enjoyed in moderation. And if you're reaching for those flavored almonds coated in sugary things, just remember those extra calories and sugars can add up. Also, if you or a loved one has any nut allergies, almonds, of course, would not be a safe choice. But for many of us, almonds are a wonderful, versatile snack. Number 2. Walnuts. These fascinating nuts that even look a little like a human brain. And wouldn't you know it, nature might be telling us something, because walnuts are truly fantastic for our cognitive health. Whether you're wanting to keep your memory sharp for remembering those grocery lists, like my friend David, 75, who still loves to cook, or you're simply interested in supporting long-term brain function, walnuts deserve a spot on your list. One of the standout features of walnuts is their high content of omega-3 fatty acids, specifically a type called ALA. These healthy fats are wonderful for reducing inflammation throughout our bodies. Now, why is that important for our brains? Well, chronic inflammation has been linked to some of the age-related cognitive changes we might be concerned about. But that's not all. Walnuts are also packed with antioxidants, which act like little protectors for our brain cells, shielding them from damage. I remember my grandmother, bless her heart, used to enjoy a few walnuts every day, and even in her late 80s, her mind was as sharp as a tack. While we can't say it was just the walnuts, they certainly contribute. Studies have shown that regular walnut consumption may help with memory, processing speed, and overall brain function. And here's another little perk. Some research suggests that walnuts might even help with blood sugar control, which is something many of us need to keep an eye on. Like almonds, moderation is key. About a handful of walnut halves a day is a good portion. Some folks find them a little bitter, and if that's you, try lightly toasting them in a pan or even soaking them for a bit to mellow the flavor. Just be sure to store them properly in an airtight container, perhaps in the fridge, to keep them fresh. Number 3. Pistachios. These little green gems are not only tasty, but they can be a really smart choice if you're watching your weight. Like my friend Susan, 68, who's been focusing on maintaining a healthy lifestyle. They offer that satisfying crunch without being as high in calories as some other nuts. One of the clever things about pistachios is that they often come in their shells, which can actually help us eat more mindfully. Shelling them takes a little time, giving our bodies a chance to register that we're eating. My neighbor Frank, 71, who loves to snack in the evenings, finds that a small bowl of pistachios keeps him satisfied without overdoing it. Beyond weight management, pistachios are also wonderful for our eyes. They contain lutein and zeaxanthin, two powerful antioxidants that are known to protect against age-related macular degeneration. That's a condition that can affect our vision as we get older. Think of these compounds as little bodyguards for our precious eyesight. Just like with all nuts, portion control is still important. A good serving size is around a handful, maybe about 50 pistachios, which looks like a good amount because of their smaller size. And of course, if you have any tree nut allergies, pistachios would be something to avoid. But for a delicious, crunchy, and nutritious snack that supports both our waistlines and our vision, pistachios are a fantastic option. Our final must-eat nut might be one you don't reach for as often, but it's incredibly powerful in small doses, the Brazil nut. These larger crescent-shaped nuts are like a secret weapon when it comes to our thyroid health and supporting our immune system. My friend Eleanor, who I mentioned earlier, was advised by her doctor to include just one Brazil nut a day, and she's noticed a real difference in her energy levels. The key here is selenium. Brazil's nuts are one of the richest natural sources of this essential mineral. Selenium plays a crucial role in keeping our thyroid gland functioning properly. Now, the thyroid is like the body's thermostat, controlling our metabolism, energy levels, and so much more. Keeping it in good shape is vital, especially as we age. Selenium is also a key player in producing thyroid hormones, which influence everything from our mood to our immune response. And the antioxidant power of Brazil nuts is also impressive, helping to fight those free radicals and reduce inflammation. Plus, selenium is known to support our immune system, helping us fend off those little illnesses that can sometimes knock us off our feet. Now, here's the important thing about Brazil nuts. A little goes a very long way. Unlike almonds or walnuts, where a handful is a good serving, with Brazil nuts, just 1 or 2 per day is usually enough to meet our body's selenium needs. Eating too many can actually lead to too much selenium, which can cause some unpleasant side effects. So think of them more like a natural supplement than a snack to munch on by the handful. If you're not a fan of the texture, try chopping one up and adding it to your morning oatmeal or yogurt. Now, let's turn our attention to 4 types of nuts that, while still part of the nut family, might be best enjoyed in moderation or perhaps even skipped altogether, especially if we're focusing on maintaining a healthy weight, supporting our heart health, or avoiding unnecessary additives. Number 1. Macadamia nuts. They often have that rich, buttery flavor that many of us find quite indulgent. Perhaps you've enjoyed them in cookies or fancy snack mixes. My friend Arthur, whom I mentioned enjoys oatmeal, sometimes treats himself to a few macadamia nuts, but he's learned to be very mindful of how many he eats. The main thing to be aware of with macadamia nuts is their very high calorie and fat content. While they do contain those heart-healthy monounsaturated fats, they have them in a very concentrated amount. An ounce of macadamia nuts can pack a significant number of calories. They're also quite easy to eat in large quantities because of their smooth texture. Before you know it, you might have consumed quite a few without feeling overly full. And often, the macadamia nuts we find commercially are coated in things like sugar, salt, or even more fat, which really adds to the less desirable aspects. If you absolutely love macadamia nuts, the key is really strict portion control. Maybe buy those small pre-portioned packs, or try adding just a few chopped nuts to a salad for that rich flavor without going overboard. Number 2. Peanuts. Peanuts are such a common snack, from peanut butter sandwiches to roasted peanuts at gatherings. My grandson, bless his heart, still loves a good peanut butter sandwich. However, it's important for us to remember a few things about peanuts, especially as we consider our health. First off, peanuts aren't actually true nuts. They're legumes, like beans and lentils. This is why some people who are allergic to tree nuts can sometimes tolerate peanuts, while others, unfortunately, react to both. And sadly, peanut allergies can be quite serious. If you or anyone you're close to has a peanut allergy, complete avoidance is absolutely crucial. Beyond allergies, there's another potential concern: aflatoxins. These are toxins produced by a type of mold that can sometimes grow on peanuts, especially if they're stored in warm, humid conditions. While there are regulations in place to limit this, it's something to be aware of, especially if you're buying peanuts in bulk. Also, many peanut products, like peanut butter, often contain added sugars, unhealthy oils, and a lot of salt. If you enjoy peanuts, opt for natural peanut butter with just peanuts and maybe a little salt listed as ingredients. And be mindful of portion sizes. Number 3. Pine nuts. Pine nuts are those small, delicate nuts often used in gourmet dishes like pesto. My friend Isabella, 78, who loves to cook Italian food, uses them occasionally. They have a lovely, subtle flavor, but there are a few things that make them less ideal for everyday snacking. One of the main issues is their high oil content, which makes them go rancid quite quickly if they're not stored properly. Unlike almonds or walnuts that can last a while at room temperature, pine nuts really need to be kept in the refrigerator or even the freezer. If they go bad, they develop a really unpleasant, bitter taste. There's also a rather strange phenomenon called pine mouth, where some people experience a lingering bitter or metallic taste after eating pine nuts, and it can last for days or even weeks. Scientists aren't entirely sure why this happens. Nutritionally, pine nuts aren't as packed with protein and fiber as some of the other nuts we've talked about. Given their higher cost and tendency to spoil, they might not be the most practical choice for regular snacking. If you enjoy them in recipes, that's fine, but perhaps consider other nuts like almonds or sunflower seeds for more everyday, nutrient-dense options. Finally, let's talk about chestnuts. Many of us associate them with the holidays and that lovely roasted aroma. My late husband, God rest his soul, used to love roasting chestnuts in the fireplace. Now, while they have a unique, slightly sweet flavor, nutritionally, they're quite different from other nuts. The main thing to know about chestnuts is that they're much higher in carbohydrates and lower in healthy fats and protein compared to almonds, walnuts, or pecans. In fact, they're more similar to starchy vegetables. So, if you're eating nuts primarily for those heart-healthy fats and to help you feel full for longer, chestnuts might not be your best bet. Because they're higher in carbs, they can also affect blood sugar levels more quickly than other nuts, which is something to keep in mind, especially if you're managing diabetes or watching your carbohydrate intake. Chestnuts do offer some vitamins and minerals, but they don't have the same powerhouse profile as many other nuts. If you enjoy the tradition of chestnuts, that's perfectly fine in moderation, especially during the holidays. But for everyday snacking, focusing on those higher fat, higher protein options might be more beneficial. So there you have it, my friends. 4 wonderful nuts: almonds, walnuts, pistachios, and Brazil nuts that can be fantastic allies for our health as we enjoy these later years. And 4 others: macadamia nuts, peanuts, pine nuts, and chestnuts that we might want to be a bit more mindful of, enjoying them in moderation or choosing other options more often. Remember, everyone's health journey is a little different, and it's always a good idea to chat with your doctor or a registered dietitian if you have any specific health concerns or dietary questions. But in general, incorporating a variety of nutrient-rich foods, including the right kinds of nuts, can be a wonderful way to support our energy, our hearts, our minds, and our overall well-being. If you found this video helpful, please do share it with your friends or family who might also benefit. Until next time, take care. See you in the next video.